Okay, we're going to start talking about number lines. You know about numbers. You know about their value. You know about their place. You can compare them. You know which ones are least or less. You know which ones are greater. And today we're going to start talking about number lines and where numbers fall. But before we can even talk about where numbers fall on a number line, you need to know some things about a number line. So let's just look. Right here I have a blank number line. I want you to turn and talk to your partner and tell them, what do you notice about this blank number line? What do you notice? Turn and talk.
You need to add numbers and your turn.
Macaroni cheese.
Everybody freeze!
Somebody raise your hand and tell me, what do you notice about this number line? What do you notice? Yes, sir. Yes, speak loud, nice and loudly for us. You're right. There are no numbers on it. Absolutely. But what do you see? What do you notice? What do you see up here on this line? What do you notice? Yes?
A blank number line.
Okay, that's exactly what he said. But you see that it is blank, but there is something on this number line that is very important. What do you see?
Arrows.
Absolutely. Arrows. And we see arrows on both ends. Try and talk to your partner about, what do you think those arrows mean? What do you think they mean?
That you can keep going, or that you can keep going for a long, very long time. And then that one means the
Ready, rock?
Ready, roll!
Somebody raise your hand and tell me, what do you believe those arrows mean? What do you think?
That you can keep going.
Absolutely. That means that number line can keep going to the left, and there's going to be numbers to the left, and that it may keep going to the right, and there are numbers to the right. That's exactly what it means. And that's what it wants you to know, that a number line keeps on going in both directions. Always. There's just numbers. But so now we're going to look at some things that we have on a number line. And when we talk about number lines, they have these little marks on them that look like this. When you see a number line, it's going to have marks on it that looks like this. Does anybody have any idea what these little marks are called? Did you learn that last year? Do you have an idea?
No.
What are those marks called?
Lungs.
That's a good. I like how you're trying. Anybody else? Anybody else? These little marks are called tick marks. They're called tick marks. Why are you not writing? Behave. They're called tick marks. And tick marks are the marks on a number line. What are they called?
Tick marks.
What's this one called?
Tick marks.
What's this one called?
Tick marks.
And he is a tick
Tick
mark.
mark.
And he's a
Tick mark.
And that one is a
Tick mark.
Yes, they are called tick marks. Each one of these are a tick mark. And a tick mark tells you where a number falls on a number line. Tick marks are very, very, very important. Tick mark. Got it? So let's say that I have some numbers on here. Let's say I have this number.
Miss Donkey, if you're in the building, could you come to the office, please?
Let's say that I have these numbers on here. I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, when I see these numbers, I know that I am counting by ones. I'm counting by ones. That is called your interval. We're talking about how many numbers are from one tick mark to the next. One tick mark to the next. It is called your interval. How many numbers from one tick mark to the next? From 6 to 7 is 1, right? From 10 to 11 is 1. From 12 to 13 is 1. From here to here is 1. From here to here is 1. That is your interval. Now watch this. What if these numbers were to be different? What if these numbers were these numbers? Turn and talk to your partner and tell them what you notice about the numbers on this number line. All set?
You bet.
Hands up, and now to be all over the room because I heard some really good talking and you were right on the money. What did you notice? Let's count. Ready?
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
What were they doing again?
Counting by tens.
When we say 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, are we counting by tens?
No, you counting by...
Count by tens for me. Everybody.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90.
Is that what this one said? So what were we counting by? 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. What are we counting by? Yes, absolutely. This one is counting by fives. So the interval from 10 to 15 is how many numbers?
5.
Absolutely. How many, everybody?
5.
Yes, there are 5 numbers, because watch, if I start at 10, I also have, in between here and here, we have what? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So from 10 to 5, I have 15, excuse me, from 10 to 15, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So these intervals, now these intervals are counting by 5s. Our intervals would be counting by 5s, or the interval. Counting by 5s on this one. Different number lines have different intervals. Different intervals. That's how many numbers from one tick mark to the next is an interval. You must figure out that interval. Not every number line is counting by ones. And it's going to be very important for you to figure out that interval. So, you know that these little black marks are called what, everybody?
Tick marks.
Oh, I didn't hear 20 voices.
Tick marks.
Beautiful, you're exactly right. And from one number to the next is called the interval. Say it again. One more time. It's called the interval from one tick mark to the next. How many numbers from one tick mark to the next is called your interval, and that's very important when reading a number line. Very, very important. So we're going to move on today, and I'm going to do one of these before we stop recording. I'm going to model for you. And then we're going to keep practicing. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording after I model. So I see a number line up at the top that has some empty spaces. It's my job to put those numbers in those empty spaces. But I've got to figure out what those numbers are. Let me see. I'm at 74. I see if I keep going, if I count by ones, this could be 75. This would be 76, 77, 78, 79. Is that correct?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I know that this number line must be counting by ones. It has an interval of ones, and I know that because when I counted and when I just continued counting on by ones, it worked perfectly. So now I know I can go back and put my numbers on these tick marks. I know that the interval is counting by ones. All works again. So then when I get through, I'm going to go back and double check myself. Make sure I didn't miss any numbers. 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83. Okay, I've said I was going to stop after this one. I'm not. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to let you help me out on this one. On this number line, I see it starts with 432, and the first number that I come through to is 444. I'm going to start out, I'm going to say, let me see if counting by ones works. 432, 433, 434, 435, 436, 437. Oh, if I was counting by ones, that would be 438. So that must not be it. It's not counting by ones. Let me count. Let me try by tens. 432, 442, 452, 462, 472, 482. Whoa, that's not right either. Is there anything else I might count by? Okay, fives. I know if I have 32, 5 more is 37. So that would be 432, 437, 442, 447, 452, 457. Oh my goodness. Oh, what can I try?
Twos.
Oh, I'm going to try counting by twos. 432, 434, 436, 438, 440, 442, 444. So I just figured out the interval. The interval between each tick mark is 2 numbers, so I'm counting by twos. So now I can go back and put my numbers in. 434, 436, 438, 440, 442, 444, 446, 448, 450. Guys, that's why it's very important that you know how to count by twos. Ones, twos, fives, and tens are very important and past 100. Ones, twos, fives, tens. It's very important. We're going to keep working. I'm going to go ahead and shut off the speaker. Remember, this will be live on Facebook tonight. I need you and your parents to make sure you go back over this again and listen to it again with your parents. Make sure your parents give me some sort of reply just to let me know that you watched it. Nice job today.